He can do it off the pick and roll. He can do it off the pick and pop. He can knock it down from all over the floor. This should be a good one this afternoon.
She'll fight for that opening tip, and it comes to the Seminoles and Robert McCray V, lead guards in the Atlantic Coast Conference. From the corner, Chauncey Wiggins. There you see the starting five for the Hokies. Ben Hammond at the point. He has had a marvelous breakout season as a sophomore here in Blacksburg. He gets the ball back, puts up the three. We're tied at 3.
Oh, baby. He's made some adjustments. They're competitive every night. Even their 2 losses, they've only been 1-possession games.
Bedford denied at the rim. Hammond had 19, 4 steals as part of that defense, and they shot it really well. 11 of 21 from deep. Leger Jones off the pronounced up fake, able to get himself free along the baseline.
He likes dribbling that thing hard to that left baseline.
Well, his coach told us after shoot-around today that he needs Leger Jones and Chauncey Wiggins to bring it every single night. And if they do, Florida State can play with anybody in the ACC. Jalen Bedford off the window for 2. Wiggins has it poked away, and here comes Neo Abdallah. Takes the contact, missed the shot, but there to clean it up. Amani Hansberry, who our own Seth Greenberg says he is the X factor for Virginia Tech.
Yeah, he does a fantastic job. He's kind of that straw that stirs the drink for this Hokies attack. Again, another one of these guys that does all the dirty work, chews the glass, runs the floor, plays the D. Again, another lefty on that Noles lineup. Fools a lot of guys. He will drive it to the hole. Has a little mid-range game as well.
Ben Hammond, as Wiggins didn't close out fast enough, now has 6 points on a couple of threes.
Well, you know, it's a balmy 55 degrees outside, so I think these guys were ready to go as we see McCray come down, and he knocked in a triple. How many triples have they already canned here in the first 4.5 minutes of this game?
I've got 5 on my chart right now. It is a total of 5. You see 3 for 4 for FSU, 2 for 2 for the home team. Abdallah inside, Hansberry over the left shoulder. Lawal turned down the 3. He made a couple of threes in the win on Wednesday over Clemson, but didn't put it up there. Now he'll try from out front and bury it. And Isaiah Pasha on the floor here early in the ball game. The Delaware transfer who originally signed with Rick Pitino at Iona, and then Martin Inglesby at Delaware.
Yeah, Tech can't get their own defensive glass cleared, and going to give the Noles a 3rd opportunity to score.
Well, trying to snap a 7-0 Hokies run. This is the largest lead of the ball game, and they're able to get it inside to Alex Steen, the 6'9".
3 triples in this basketball game, yet at the same time, they got 8 points in the paint, so doing a really nice job mixing up the inside attack and the outside attack.
Martin Somerville, how about that? The lefty from Bowie, Maryland, now with 5 points.
I told you this kid wasn't.
Number of players as multi-sport standouts at both Florida State and Virginia Tech. The Hokies receiver, Snook Peterkin, actually did play in games and scored a touchdown against Virginia this past fall. We got ourselves a 4-point ball game. Florida State hanging around in spite of the hot start by Virginia Tech.
Yeah, well, you got Steen inside protecting the paint, you know, trying to stop some of that 10-point explosion that Hokies have enjoyed, points in the paint. He's grabbing balls, although he gives up offensive rebound underneath. Oh, no, and a putback.
Terrific point guard matchup. Hammond trying to hang with McCray despite giving up a couple of inches. Swinton from the corner.
Have really started letting these guys play. And it's a joy to watch big, strong young men play like big, strong young men, as this young man can fill up the scoring stat sheet.
All 9 of his points this afternoon have come from distance. You see a perfect 3 for 3. McCray gets loose inside, going to try again over the big boys, able to finish.
How about the little big man? I talked about he can't go inside. He said, I'll show you, Williams. Right inside amongst the trees, and then this guy, Jones. He's my guy on the Seminoles that I love the most. You got McCray, some of Wiggins and those guys, but they're going to have to try to hold on here and keep that deficit down to a single possession, and they certainly will be able to do. The Passong's knocking in triples. We got a 1-point game here, Parts. Hey, I'm telling you, these Noles, they found something here these last 2-3 weeks since we had them down in Miami. Even their 2 losses were by just 1 single possession.
Jalen Bedford coming off his 23-point performance in the upset of Clemson. On the pull-up, now has 4. It's back to a 3-point lead for Tech. Basong pulls it down, and here comes Florida State down by 3 with the basketball.
Yeah, and I like Hansberry's ability to knock down a triple, but I don't know if Coach Young wanted it right there.
Off the flare screen. Bedford drops the 3. The flare screen is by far my favorite screen in basketball.
Yeah,
you
were working on your shot after shoot around today too, weren't you, Part?
Need more work.
You know these rims. Hansberry and how high they can jump, and he could not finish that one. And in a close ball game, Coach Young, he's old school. He doesn't like to see that early on.
McCray back on the floor playing with those 2 fouls. Trying to use that height to his advantage. Kicks it back out. Swinton. After the hard closeout by Abdallas, no call, and here come the Hokies again. This time Lawal was filling the lane, but it winds up in the hands of Neo Abdallas, his first made field goal of the day.
Yeah, hasn't taken many shots. I wondered when this kid was going to come join the party, and that was a nice little setup by Bedford. He kind of shoveled it right over to Abdallas, and he canned it in. Another rebound here by Hansberry.
Not been what he has hoped. And so now the latest projection has him as a possible second-round pick. There's Tobi Lawal up to the rim to throw it down.
That'll drive that Florida State coaching staff batty. You call the timeout to draw up a play, and your team turns it over, live ball turnover that leads to a jam the other way. But then Wiggins, he steps back and knocks down a triple. Is that his second of the day?
6 seconds, 5. Pasha trying to create. Picks up the dribble and gets denied by Swinton, who gives a heave. Forrest to Jacksonville University. He closes out on Bedford, who misses off the front iron. Saved inbounds by Hansberry, but Florida State now has numbers. Leger Jones crosses over Abdallas and able to finish.
I think that squad might be in Athens. I was over there this summer. I remember they had 2 teams in Athens.
Wiggins dumps it off. Jones with the dunk. Wiggins, a lot of dribbling, able to connect, and he gives the Seminoles their first lead since it was 3-0.
Yeah, you're going to have to put some more air in the ball as much as Wiggins was dribbling, but nobody came to help.
Tech, no made buckets in over 3 minutes. That stretch will continue off the Hammond turnover. Here's Somerville, who does not turn the ball over for Florida State. And that's going to be a blocking foul. There was a little good karma on that plane ride down to South Florida that has helped the Seminoles over the last couple of weeks.
There's Somerville knocking down a jumper. I'm telling you right now.
Here's Martin Somerville, who's gone 2.5 games without turning it over for Florida State. And even though he's a sophomore on a team of veterans, he's one of the lead voices, and he strokes the 3.
Involved in this thing, he hit a couple buckets by Somerville and shoot that rock. And he is one of the better at it in the ACC, shooting about 35% from behind the arc.
Lawal goes to the right hand and snaps the 13-0 run.
See if they want to trap here after this first pass over half court.
Bedford, little floater. Good looking shot, 60-53.
Backcourt pressure, but you left yourself vulnerable in the offensive end. And Jalen Bedford, you mentioned the heater he had against Virginia where he had 23 points. He made them pay.
Somerville buries the 3, a huge shot for Florida State to make it a 10-point ball game.
And here, Somerville is just giving the Hokies fits. They don't know whether to play back off of them for the drop.
See, in the second half, Jones and Somerville have been, as a pair, outdoing the Hokies as a team. Bedford tries to change that.
Trying to keep these Hokies close.
Tech trying to get it done at the defensive end. Bedford with the closeout. Somerville even better. Florida State with another stop. The offense for Virginia Tech has stalled here in the second half.
And it wasn't just a shot, right? It would tough them into a tough shot, but then McGee with the tough board along the baseline as well.
Somerville, 4-3.
And they let their foot off the gas. They stopped playing slow. We talked to Coach Louts. They didn't score the last 6 minutes and 30 seconds. He doesn't want that to happen again. It's Somerville again.
Banks it in, 70-57.
Yeah, the crowd wanted travel ball. They thought Somerville slid his pivot foot, and Hammond gets erased by Jones at the bucket.
Well, his career high was 26 points a couple of years ago, or last January, as a matter of fact, for UMass Lowell. 21 now. Big answer coming out of the timeout for Chauncey Wiggins and Florida State.
LeJay Jones, they're all just sharing the basketball. It's not sticking in any one person's hand. They come back with a little zone defense as Hammond cracks up the triple.
Well, we haven't heard from Hammond since the opening minutes. He had 3 early threes. That's his first of the second half.
Young man knows how to lead a squad, and we saw him down in Miami make the game-winning free throws down in Miami when the game was tied, and he is delivering here. He's got his team running real hot and fast, and here they go again.
Well, Florida State playing with 2 point guards together, and it has worked beautifully as Basong lays it in.
If they lose this game, if they can't find a way to fight back into this thing, that's it. It's over. Joey Brackets will be done scouting this squad the rest of the season.
Wiggins off the lob from Somerville.
Yeah, unfortunately, they have just not had an answer for this offensive punch here in the second half. So they got some work to do here if they're going to try to salvage their season and make a run coming off of that Virginia Tech win. It has been just as big a disappointment here this afternoon for Coach Young's squad.
They have turned it around. And I tell you what, Martin Somerville said earlier this week, I'm learning how to defend with a purpose. Jones, 4-3.
Why not?
What do you take from Somerville saying, I and we are learning how to defend with a purpose?
Well, like I said, it sounds like that buy-in culture for Coach Laux is the roots are starting to grow deep, and they're seeing
Gerdak with a takeaway. Here comes Hammond. Up ahead, Abdallas, throw it up, and Lawal does what he does.
Dominant second half. Would you see that? They're shooting 79% for the most part in this second half. That's crazy. 79%.
1,500 points in his college career at Wake Forest, Jacksonville, and now Florida State. It's the exclamation point on what's going to be a huge road victory. Lawal with another dunk at the other end. And Virginia Tech on the bubble coming in may have just had its bubble burst today by Florida State. 92-69 your final score.